Hello Year 11 and welcome to today's drama lesson. Your first task. What are these stage configurations called? Write down your answers. Lesson outcomes. What? Revise how to answer a 20 marker. Why? To practice an exam question. Here's the extract that we began looking at last lesson. Today we will continue with the same extract. In this scene, Mrs. Lyons sacks Mrs. Johnston. And here is a reminder of the question. You are performing the role of Mrs. Lyons. Describe how you would use your acting skills to interpret Mrs. Lyons' character. Explain why your ideas are appropriate for this extract and the performance of your role in the play as a whole. Remember, this is worth 20 marks. Top tips. This is a two-part answer. The first part, you should focus on this extract. And the second part, you should focus on the play as a whole. Remembering, when focusing on this extract, you are explaining what your interpretation is for the character. You should use point, evidence, explanation and link these back to your interpretation. Here is an example of the piece of work that as a class we produced. Listen very carefully, and you can find this in the file section on Show My Homework. My interpretation of Mrs. Lyons in this extract is that she's very desperate to keep the baby. Throughout the whole play, she plots, schemes and manipulates in order to have and keep the baby. To show this in this extract, when I say the line, "sit down," Richard and I have been talking it over, and well, the thing is, we both think it would be better if you left. I would say this whilst walking over to Mrs. Johnston, who I would hold on to and physically sit her down in the chair. I would be leaning over her and speak with a calm voice, emphasising the word Richard to make out to Mrs. Johnston that it was his idea. This shows that I am trying to force Mrs. Johnston to stay sat down and use manipulation and intimidation to get what I want. When I say the line, "Yes, well, we thought of that, here, it's a lot of money, but well," I would say this using a calm tone of voice, taking out a wad of cash from a book that I was holding and passing it to her whilst looking away. This would demonstrate to the audience that I was manipulative and carefully planned out how I would get Mrs. Johnston to leave. When Mrs. Lyons says, no, you won't, you gave your baby away. Don't you realise what a crime that is? You'll be locked up. You sold your baby. My interpretation of Mrs. Lyons is that she is guilt-tripping Mrs. Johnston and intimidating her. If I was performing this line, I would stand up quickly while saying no, pointing at her and glaring with my eyes wide open to show my panic that Mrs. Johnston was not going along with my plan. This would also show the audience how desperate I was to keep Edward, that I would resort to guilt-tripping. Now that we have looked at the first 10 marks, exploring specifically our interpretation of Mrs. Lyons in this extract, we are going to move on to the second part, where we will look at our interpretation of Mrs. Lyons in the play as a whole. A reminder then of how to structure this part of your answer. You're focusing on the whole play. You must explain your interpretation. Is it different? You should use peel, point, evidence, explanation and link when answering this. You must refer to at least 2 different points from the play. You must explain what your interpretation is of Mrs. Lyons at different plot points. Use peel. You are linking back to this extract as well as linking your interpretations to your acting skills. A reminder that you must mention as many vocal and physical skills as you can to fully explore the character. Use this image to get you started on thinking about your exploration of Mrs. Lyons in the whole play. Select 3 quotes from this image. Explain what your interpretation is for Mrs. Lyons. If you look carefully, you can see that these are highlighted in red. During these quotes, select 1 vocal and physical skill you would use to demonstrate your interpretation for this particular line. Do not use the same quotes from the extract that we are looking at, and record your ideas on the table that you will see coming up shortly. Record your ideas on this table. A reminder, you can find this table in the file section on Show My Homework. You must include your quote, your vocal skill idea, and your ideas for physical skills. You must have at least 3 quotes from the image. Once you've completed this task, send this as an attachment or photo to Show My Homework or email. We will then use this table to help us in tomorrow's live lesson, where as a class we will be exploring how to answer the second part of this exam question. If you are stuck or struggling or would like some help and advice, please email me or comment in Show My Homework. Many thanks. Bye bye.